David Ornstein has confirmed that Ruben Amorim has told his Manchester United squad that he is staying. This comes after his comments following the Europa League final defeat to Spurs, in which he said that he would happily leave the club with no compensation whatsoever if the fans or board thought that had to be done. But he's now doubling down on the fact that he is staying. But more than just that, he has told Alejandro Garnacho that he has to find a new club. He no longer has any future at Manchester United. Now, whether you agree with that assessment or not, it truly is a statement that Amorim is in full control of this squad now going into the summer, which is really exactly what needs to be done. He was actually asked in his press conference ahead of the game against Villa, the final game of the season, whether or not he regrets joining midway through a season. Now, we all know the story. The club told him that it was now or never. He couldn't wait to the summer, even though that's what he wanted. But he has actually said and admitted now that it might have been a blessing in disguise him joining so early on. And I can't help but agree with him, because if you cast your minds back to January, where it looked like there was a chance that Alejandro Garnacho would be sold, a lot of fans, to be fair, myself included, were saddened by the idea of that. And in a way, I still kind of am glad we didn't sell him, because I don't think we would have got a suitable replacement in. And whether you like it or not, Garnacho has been an important player for us this season. I think he's played something like 58 games. He's one of our most played players. And I don't think the club would have replaced him, at least not adequately, had we sold him in January. But one of the reasons we didn't sell him back then was because Amorim actually praised Garnacho for stepping up, proving his place in this team. And I can agree. I remember around the times when he was being linked to the likes of Napoli and the Chelsea deal really looked like it could happen, Garnacho had some of his best strings of performances. He was really good. As Amorim said, he did earn his place in this team. However, we can see now why it was so important for Amorim to join when he did and not wait to the summer like he originally wanted. He's seen that that was a flash in the pan for Garnacho, and that well and truly he hasn't earned his place in this team despite what his ego may tell him. Thus now Amorim and the board can confidently make the decision to sell him this summer, which you can tell they weren't quite as confident about doing back in January. But had Amorim joined now, in the summer, like he wanted, he could have had the wool pulled over his eyes again by Garnacho, because he would have come in, in a few weeks Amorim would have done. Garnacho then could have stepped up in training, done really well on the preseason tour, maybe start the season well, and then as soon as the summer window be over, down tools, miss a couple games, throw the toys out the pram, and we'd be where we are now. But that can't happen anymore, and it won't. Now, one downside to not selling him in January is that his price has decreased. It was reported today that back in January, he was valued at around 60 million, but that will drop. That being said, I still think we should get around 50 million for him, which is probably a good deal considering how things have panned out. And unfortunately, beggars can't be choosers either. We really need the money. It was also reported that Amorim's budget without sales this summer is going to be around 100 million. You get the likes of Cunha and a striker, be it Delap, Gyökeres, Mateta, and that is the bulk of that 1 million spent. But by getting 40 to 50 million from Garnacho, then that is an entirely new player. That being said, the money we get from Garnacho needs to be spent well and truly, his replacement is already done. It's Cunha. He will play that left 10, which Garnacho has currently been playing, and realistically, he's going to play it better. But this is what I mean when I say the Garnacho money has to be reinvested smartly, because despite being 20 years old, he has played 144 games for us. He scored 26 goals and got 22 assists. Like I said, he's played 58 times this season. This is an important player of the squad, and he needs to be replaced by someone who is going to be even more important and more prolific for us. Hopefully, it means we can afford that more experienced, more ready for the now striker alongside Delap. Because as I've been saying, we need that will be our most important signing of the summer, in my opinion. Alternatively, though, if that doesn't happen, a goalkeeper maybe. We all know that goalkeeper is probably becoming as important of a new signing as a striker is at this point. Now, there is the high likelihood, I think, that we might look silly for selling Garnacho. What I mean by that is I'm fairly confident, as long as he doesn't go to Chelsea, that if he moves somewhere abroad more specifically, that he will do good, because he is a good talent. Like I said, you don't play nearly 150 times for Manchester United as a teenager without having genuine talent. He is one of the best prospects we've created in the last 5 years. I don't think there's any denying that. But the bridges have been well and truly burnt at Manchester United at this point. For his sake, I hope he joins Conte at Napoli with McTominay and Lukaku. But what's more important than what Garnacho's career is going to be like post-Man United is the message that Amorim has sent to the current Man United squad. Because if he can tell someone as important who's played as many games as Garnacho that he can fuck off, then he can tell any single one of those players the same thing. Which is something I don't think we can say about most managers. Most of the managers that we've had under the previous regime have kind of just been told to, yeah, listen, we get this player's not very good, and we get you don't really get along with him, but can you just kind of like kiss and make up and make it work, because we don't really want to spend any money on a replacement. Jose made it very clear that that was the case. Look at Oli. Don't get me wrong, I was ecstatic when we re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo, but that wasn't meant to be the case. Oli's gone on to say that that's not really what the plan was, but it was forced upon him and told to just deal with it. But thankfully, that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. So I want to ask you guys, who else needs to be joining Garnacho out of the door before that pre-season begins? Let me know below, leave a like, subscribe and ding that notification bell, and thank you so much for watching.